Well, hello, how are you? Today is that wonderful day. And you go, what? How does she know? Well, you know what? It's because that's how you're going to make it, right? You need a good day. So let's start off with thinking, oh, wait a second. No, I've got to do something else first, okay? I've got to go and say, it's such a day, yeah. Such a mighty fine day, yeah. Woo, such a day, yeah. Such a mighty fine day. Woo! That's right, because I intend to make it a good day. I really do. And I'm hoping that for you. Now, I want you to envision yourself going on stage and you feel really pumped, really good. You're going on stage and all of a sudden you're in the song and your voice is feeling really good. You're able to hit the notes in the song, and now mentally you're encouraged even more, and you see the smile on people's faces that encourages you even more, and you're pumped, and everything is going really well. And you step off a stage, and you go, "Wow, that was great." Now I want you to envision this: you step on stage, okay, you're pumped, you're ready to go, and you go on stage, and you start singing, and you notice something. You notice, wait a second, and maybe you were tired the night before. Maybe you went on stage and you just went for it, no forethought, and all of a sudden you strained in this one area, and then you go, oh my gosh, what am I going to do now? Because you got the rest of the show to do. Or you're in the show and you've been practicing. You're practicing your songs, and you weren't able to hit that note. Now you're going on to that song, and that's going through your head, and you're going, I sure hope I can hit that note. But you're pumped. You're really pumped, and you go to hit the note, and you push, and you just rat right through it. Or you, in your mind, you go, oh man, I'm going to crash and burn. You know that you're in that far back a position. And what do? You fake it. I've done it. I can do it in one sentence. That's how bad I was. Within one sentence, I could rap my voice out and I had the rest of the show. It's like, wow, man, so bad. And sometimes you're on there and you're feeling bad, and you go for, you fake it a little bit, but you get through the show. Or you're recording and you're pushing through that recording, but you got the take. And you're feeling bad. You say, I got to do something about this. And it's not good. And the next day you feel a little bit better, and I got to go. I got to do this. I got to go in. I got to talk to the manager. I got to set the stage up. You forget. You go on with life. And you've got other things on your plate, and you keep going. But the problem is still there. So little by little, that problem becomes deterioration. Now, I got to tell you, I've been singing for decades. I've been on the Griffin Show, the Tonight Show. I've done radio, TV. I've had these little singers. I have a mind of my own, when I was a teenager, and I'm still singing. I'm 75. I'm singing strong. Whoa, yeah. I will not grow weary, Lord. I'm singing strong, but back pedal here a little bit to when I was in my 20s and doing things wrong. And I thought, I'm fine. You think you're invisible. So you can go and do whatever, not practice, and so that accumulates. And I ended up with a lot of problems. And if you've heard me before, I had nodes, I had broken blood vessels, I had I lost my voice. I strained all the time. Now, there were emotional problems behind that, but then it became a physical problem also, and then mentally, it starts playing on you as you get older. My main focus right now is you pro singers, as you're reaching over 30. Now, remember, I got a lot of time on you. I'm 75. You get 30 and older, And I had somebody here and they said, just a year ago, I could sing, I could hit these notes. Now what's going on? Now, it isn't just a one size fits all, There are different stages and different things that go on. And I do have a free resource for you at the end, which you can take or not take, but it's for you. And there's specific reason why I want you to have this, okay? But that's fast forward. I'm going to pull myself back right now, okay? And just imagine, you who are 30 and over, you're 40, maybe you're 50. You've been doing rock songs, you've been hitting notes, and now it's like you had to pull the key down. So now your mind starts working. I can't do it like I used to. I'm not. What's going on? I'm practicing my songs. Well, there's more than meets the eye with this. And it is, as I wrote down here, physical, emotional, and mental. You've got to look at all things. And because we get so busy and because a lot of people haven't been performing. And so rust starts coming in. You're not really doing as much with your muscles. Now, when the lockdown happened, and I go to the gym 3 days a week, when it happened, I thought, golly gee, okay? And I'm not really a mask person, and I'm not like thrilled to go in a gym. So what I did was I created something so I could keep my muscles going, okay? So I'm still in shape. I'm 75, honey, okay? So I'm in shape. I keep myself together, and I do that for my students. We laugh after. But what do you do with this muscle? What did you do in that time? Did you keep your muscles going? Maybe you sang your songs, but it's not just about your songs. You see, the secret sauce is the fact that you physically must work your muscles from low to high. Now, your songs, you got to do your songs too, but you've got to keep the muscles going, supple, and the retention. Because remember, muscles have memory. So many people came back and woo, they were like way far back with their muscles. Now, yes, was I back a little bit? Yeah. But when I did it with my singing, wow. Because when I was in my 20s, I'm fine. I could sing, no problem. But I did in the back of my throat. I knew the back of my throat, the back of my head. I knew that, hey, I'm hurting. I'm not doing well. But I was stubborn. And a lot of pro singers think, look, I'm singing my songs, I'm doing fine, and I'll be fine. Or you're getting hoarse all the time, belters. That's what I used to do all the time, is belt. So a lot of ladies, you're belting, and you're using your voice and you're working it, but you're not really practicing. You're not really warming the muscles up. You're not really, you're not keeping up like you have to, and you're not taking care of a certain underlying factor. And so it accumulates over time. And you need to know that you're not going to lose your strength if, like you do, I have a mini courses coming up and then a whole course. And in that, I'm specifically going for 30 and over singers that are straining in order to regain your strength, and regain and win confidence. And the one thing is get back your control, because so many of you don't even recognize or don't want to recognize you're out of control, or it, but doing the hard thing of doing lighter sounds, of learning the transitions and changing things around. It's like, oh man, you're gonna, no, can't mess with my style. Or you fear the unknown there, and you go back and you lock in. And also you've got so much to do that I don't have time to do this. I'm not 20 to have to go back into, learning these things or take lessons. Well, guess what? It isn't going to get any better, because when you strain and you strain over a period of time, you get used to it. Your muscles get used to responding that way. So when you're on stage, you got this to think about. You got the musicians, you got your sound to think about. You got your audience. What if there's a manager? You've got things before you go on stage. All of that accumulates on you. And this, you don't have time to think when you're on stage. of am I doing it right? Am I presenting it? Am I thinking high off the roof of the mouth? Am I opening up right here? Okay, so those things you have to do. You have to think of lifting up off the roof of the mouth. You can't drag it here. You can't drag it. And you hear the guttural sound. See, I like that guttural sound. People love that in me. Well, there's only so much you can do. Do you know how much you can do? Or have you been overstepping your boundaries? See, you aren't the best judge because you're used to doing it the wrong way. And heaven forbid somebody touches that. Now, I've got people that they're thinking and they're realizing and they're coming to me and seeing the changes. The notes they couldn't hit, I had a guy come in and I have a problem with this song. I can't hit this note, okay? So I said, okay, what's the note? Yeah, so I think it was here, okay? I think it was, right there. Guess what? I had him going into the song and I had him vocalizing and he's over there, he's hitting a higher note. Now, what that note is, this is middle C right here, if I can turn my head. This is middle C, this is another C, and he hit that note. And I said, that was only an E. And he starts like, only an E. He said, he couldn't hit that note. He could not hit that note. And I had him warming up the muscles, big deal. Okay, warming up the muscles, and then I distracted him right as he was going to hit that note, and I just distracted him enough. Bang! He hit the note. But if he had gone with the old mental attitude, he would have croaked. Now I can't, he would have stopped before. Now I can't hit that note. So you have to understand that you have habits that are there that aren't going to just leave because you say, okay, I'm going to hit it off the roof of the mouth. I'm going to support. I'm not going to lift up. I'm not going to pull down in order to get it. Because you don't want to pull down. You don't want to pull in. You want to stay outward in order to get the notes. So you have to get number one, the mindset. As we are approaching an older age, you're not going to do things the same way. You just aren't. You're not 20. I'm not 20. I'm not going to sing like I sang when I was 20. I might not be able to hit some of the notes. I might have to take the key down. You have to get your ego out of there and notice that you're going to be able to sing it really well there right now at this period in your life. You've got a lot more stresses. You didn't have them then. You were free. You were okay. You didn't have family, whatever. Now you've got stuff on the plate. So you've got to give every advantage to yourself. You've got to prep more. And I'm going to go over Friday. I'm going to do another live, and it's going to be on rituals and habits, okay? Inspiration versus habits. Now, I was reading a book by Ed Milet, okay? The Power of One More. And I applied this to singers. The fact that rituals and habits are going to get you through as you go through life and you've got so much more on your plate. And inspiration versus habits. This is what's going to save you because this is the problem. It's not on stage. It's before you go on stage. It's the week before you go on stage. It's your habits, as I say, your habits. But that's for Friday. Today is to get you to understand it's not when you go on stage. You've got to do this before. You've got to have all the habits. You've got to understand that when you go to sing that note, you're already registering the muscles, to do what they always did because that's all they know. They're going to do the incorrect thing because that's what they know to do. If you're straining, that's it. If you're not, and you're free to get that note. Now I got to tell you a story. I had a student and it was me too. I did this too. I was going for a note and I was croaking on the last note of this song. Croaking and I'm practicing. I'm croaking. I'm going, what the heck is this? I used to sing and hold notes. I said, shut up, Marquita. Shut up. Listen, what you have to do is understand that you're approaching it all wrong. Okay. So I did take it down in a key. I said, okay, taking the key down, don't be stubborn. And then I remembered something, calm, assertive. So what I did was I thought of what would make me calm right before that note, because I was going to be able to take a breath. A lot of times when you're going for a high note, there's a breath you have to do right before, or like a few words or syllables before. And for me, it was seeing this picture of this little kid, and he was so mischievous. He had this look on his face, and my students know this, and he's like, he looks like he's going to do something, you know, or he's about to be great in life, and he's just at the beginning of doing it, and he's excited. And I look and I see him. I'm looking up and I see him. Then I take the breath and I think high off the roof, and I soar in the note, and I went, bingo. I found my key to hitting that note right. It was the mental key, because I was fearing doing that note. I was like going, I croaked before, I'm going to do it again. No. It's a lie, mentally, physically, and emotionally. Emotionally, I was building up to fail. So when you're going for the note that you know that you've had a problem with, when you're on stage, now understand, in my mini course, you're going to go over, no, before, okay? Before, and you got to do lots of work. And on Friday, I'm going to talk to you about the habits. So that's before. But when you're on stage, right now, you need something in your little bag, right when you go to do that note. And you can practice this mentally before. You got to image a little bit before. Think about what just gets your giddy gap, what makes you feel happy. Remember, it's going to be calm, assertive to get that note, not tension, fear. So tension in the body, you know, fear here, and emotionally you're building up what? To go that way. So what you have to do is have that, you know, it could be a picture of you younger when you hit that note, you feeling so good. It could be splashing in water. You know, you're just splashing in the water. Anything that you can put in your brain just for a split second. You take a breath, you relax, and think of it coming off the roof. Where? Coming out high. Yeah. Yeah. Up here. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I feel like I'm going to bark now. So much fun. You release the tension in the body. You think of something that lifts you up. Then you take a breath and you think of how you're going to execute. Bingo. That note is going to fly out of you. That's what happened to one of my students. He said, oh my gosh, that felt good. It doesn't feel so good. And it releases the tension, the forethought that everything is going to go this way, bad. See, that's what you don't want. You can't build up tension. You have to release it. Calm, assertive. When you're backstage, remember, present yourself on stage. Think of that splashing or whatever it is. You know what it is. And if you don't, you need to get it. You need to get something that goes, oh my gosh, I'm so happy. When I see his face, I can see his face now, and it just tickles me. What tickles you? Because that's what you need. You need to break the cycle, because it's a cycle. When it's the note going for it, and you've been having a problem with that. Now, when it's the habit of straining, when you're just used to doing that and you know you're doing things wrong, then you got to bite the bullet, honey. You have to change. You must understand that you must do that, because little by little, you're deteriorating your voice. I know, I've done it. I ended up with benign tumors on the free edges of the vocal folds. How stupid is that? Now, that was a long, long time ago in my 20s. Remember, I'm 75 and I'm strong. Remember, again, I'm not singing the same way. I'm not hurting myself. So you have choices to make. I'm here. I have the answers. So don't leave. Continue. I'm coming live Friday. I'm going to go over the rituals and habits that you need to start implementing. And it won't be overnight, okay? Understand, this is not for the faint of heart. If you want to keep going and recording and get strung out after and lose your voice, and before you go on stage, if you want to like be too tired and whatever, you want to continue that, go for it. You're here. You click it off now, because you aren't in my space. See, my space is going after it and succeeding and fighting hard, because you will have to fight. You're going to have to fight what you've been doing all this time. You will change things, but you won't change your style. You'll still be you, but you'll be the best part of you. You won't be that broken you. It feels, oh my gosh, it's so crappy. Ooh. You know, it's like you've been slimed. Oh, I strained again. Ugh, I strained again. Stop doing this and do, yeah, woohoo! I'm happy, okay? That's what you need. So understand, Friday it'll be Friday evening at 7:00. I'm going to go live, and I'm going to talk about, remember, I'm going to talk about rituals and habits, okay? I mean, remember, this is all about regaining your strength, winning confidence, and a big deal, having control. Because if you're straining, you do not have control. That's it, you don't. You're out of control, and it is controlling you. Bad, bad, bad. Okay. You don't need that. You don't want that. Now, let me see if I got into everything. Yes, you need to have control, physical, emotional. Oh my gosh. Remember, and if you aren't performing a lot, the big deal is that you do have to practice your songs even more. Okay, because you're not performing, and you need to work your voice other than that. Okay, now, yes, my mini course is going to have that. That's coming down. But right now, I want to give you warm-ups. Okay, now look, they aren't the ones that you're going to get in the mini course, and the way they're done. I think there might be ones that's similar, but this is free. And let me show you where you're going to get them. Okay, and now let me tell you about them. Okay, so it's going to be, is it coming up? The banner coming up here? Show. That's the banner. So it's Marquita Waters /services. I don't see it coming up. Okay, so it is Marquita Waters services. Let's see if that came up. Okay, there you go. Now, what you want to do is grab that. It's a free resource. MarquitaWaters.com services, right? And the reason why I'm giving you this is because you can start off with this. Now, it's a little bit faster than what you would get, because when you're going to do the course that is for straining specifically, then what happens is, let me change this over here. With that, there we go. Now I can see a little bit more of what's happening. All right. So when you have that, you're going to, it's going to go, the course, it's going to go slower, and I'm going to talk to you through it so you understand what to do. With this, yes, I'm talking to you, it's warm-ups. I want you to be aware of, number one, be aware of transitions. Now, your tendency is going to be loud and crash through these. And you're going to stop after a certain point. You're going to go, oh my gosh, this is hard to do. I can't get up to these notes. No, what you're going to do is lighten earlier, because there's transitions within every octave. There's transitions. So you lighten up early. Start early. Don't go, No, lighten early and be aware of the transitions. Sing it light, even though you like to sing loud. You like to be aggressive when you sing. You like to sing strong. Warming up is not that, okay? Now, I'm giving this to you for you to use. Now, if you sing light and you have no problem, you're singing, great, you have a free resource. No problem. 3 exercises, okay? And it's just something for you to utilize. But remember, if you are straining, if you're used to straining, you cannot sing them loud. It's not for you to be an example of your singing. It's to warm up the muscles. Do you do stretching, for the rest of the body? Okay, think of it that way. It's just stretching. So go there, marquitawaters.com/services. Get this, it's for you. And you'll see a little sign that says warm-ups, and just you give your email, and then you'll get a notice, and you'll be able to have them, okay? Any questions, get a hold of me. But utilize this. Remember, do not push when you're doing it. The tendency will be there. Lighten up a lot earlier than you would like to. Don't go any higher than you feel comfortable. They're general. They aren't specific for you, but there's a lot of people that go really high. And some people are going to grab these, and they're singing really easy through it. And that's great. God bless them. Okay. But for you, slow, be aware of the transitions. Now, what do I mean by transitions? Real quick. Okay. Lower your singing in chest voice. In the middle, you start to transition. You got to lighten up before that. Are you going to hear that change? Now I lightened up a little earlier, and you couldn't really hear it as much. I'm not warmed up, so it's not as good, okay? But understand, let me put this over here. Let me see. Okay, I'm going back to comments here. Hey, Mercedes, nice to see you're here, honey. Thank you so much. I will have a wonderful day. Thank you for your comment, honey. Yes, any comments that you have, please put them in. I'm coming to the end of this, so remember, you've got to go there and utilize this. Now, as you go up to the higher notes, you're going to transition to a head voice or falsetto. And in the middle, yeah, that's the mix. Now, that's only if your voice is feeling really, really good. Basically, you want to know your lower sound, lighten up, and get to your higher falsetto sound or head voice sound. Now, if you can't do those higher sounds, don't push it. Remember, it's warming the muscles, nothing more, okay? All right. I think I got everything in there. Remember, marquitawaters.com/services. And also, if you want to leave a comment there and you have a question, go ahead, leave a question also. Just fill out a contact form and I will get a hold of you, okay? We'll talk about any specific problem. Friday, again, I'm going live 7 p.m. Pacific time. I'm going to talk about regaining strength, okay, winning back confidence, and the most important thing is having control. That's what you want. If you're straining, you don't have control, okay? All right, guys, I've got to go. It was so nice that you were here. Thank you so much. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, every singer that's a pro that is having any problems, I know how to take care of them. I've been through it all, let me tell you. And I came back out the other end, and I worked it. And I am so thrilled I did. And I want that for you. Okay. I want that smile on your face. Okay. Have a great singing day. Bye. Okay. I'm ending. Ooh, end the broadcast. It says bye.